People who were 1 in 1 million. How did your unique abilities expose your family's darkest secret? I'd always been freakishly big as a child, 17 pounds out of the womb. So when I was 6 years old, my parents forced me into wrestling. I pinned kids 3 years older than me within months of training, and everyone called me naturally gifted. When I was 8, Coach Stevens noticed me at a tournament. He'd trained 3 state champions. Everyone knew he only worked with kids who had real potential. He pulled my parents aside. Your son has something special. I'd like to train him. They agreed immediately. His training was intense. I'd wake up to have ice baths at 4 a.m. By 5 a.m. I was rolling with kids 6 years older than me. Strict meal plans ruled my life. I was 9 years old, forcing down a pound of boiled chicken breast per night, but it worked. I was dominating, winning against trained kids in middle school while being a 4th grader. My parents drove me everywhere. The coach was suddenly coming over for Sunday dinners. He was like family. But then, after my 12th birthday, coach pulled my parents aside. I heard him say, "Elite athlete protocol." The next practice, coach called me into his office. "You're ready for the next level." He held up a tube. "This separates good from great." He squeezed clear gel onto his hands. Smelled medicinal. "This is a recovery compound. Olympic athletes use it." He told me to turn around. His hands were cold, rubbing gel into my bare shoulders and back. "Your parents approved this. It's completely natural." He did this after every practice. The gel tingled, but it felt relaxing. 6 weeks later, my body was different. 140 to 165 pounds. My muscles were exploding. I had abs like high school kids. In wrestling, I was destroying everyone, pinning kids in under a minute. But mentally and even physically, I felt terrible. I couldn't sleep, had acne suddenly everywhere, experienced random nosebleeds. My voice dropped 2 octaves in a month and my mustache grew. I looked like an overgrown 17-year-old while being 12. At tournaments, parents were complaining. One dad made them check my birth certificate after I pinned his son in 15 seconds. "What are you feeding that kid?" I asked my parents in the car. "Why am I so much bigger than everyone?" Mom said, "You're just going through puberty early, honey." Dad said, "You train harder than anyone." The coach overheard me complaining at practice. "You're gifted. 1 in a million. This is what champions look like." But things got worse. All of a sudden, I started experiencing anger like never before. I shoved my favorite teacher into a locker, yelled at my crush when she asked how my day went. The worst part was something I couldn't tell anyone. My balls were shrinking, and I was terrified. Then came regionals. I was wrestling Danny. He was really good. My first real competition in months. The match went 6 minutes. I won, but I had to work. Right after the ref raised my hand, my vision blurred. Everything was spinning. My chest tightened. I collapsed on the mat. People started screaming. My mom ran over. Someone called 911. I couldn't breathe. Paramedics came and loaded me on a stretcher. Everything went black. I woke up in a hospital bed. Mom beside me, dad by the window, coach against the wall. A doctor walked in. "Your son has extremely elevated testosterone levels. Highly unusual for a 12-year-old. Has he been taking any supplements? Gels?" "The recovery gel." Coach puts it on my back. The doctor's face changed. "What gel?" Coach shifted uncomfortably. "Natural recovery compound. Completely safe. Do you have a container?" "Not with me." "Mom, how long has he been doing this?" "Since I turned 12. After every practice." Doctor to coach. "These testosterone levels suggest external hormone administration steroids. I'm calling security." Dad stepped forward. "Wait, there has to be a mistake with the test." The doctor stared at him. "There's no mistake. Someone is dosing this child with testosterone." Dad pointed at coach. If anyone did anything wrong, it was him. I trusted him with my son. Coach's face changed. He pulled out his phone. "You want to play it that way?" He turned to the arriving officer. "I have text messages." He knew exactly what I was giving his kid. Dad's face went pale. Coach handed the phone to the officer, trying to save himself. The officer scrolled and read aloud. "Text from Mr. Collins. $500 monthly is working. Want to increase applications to twice daily." Mom turned slowly to Dad. "What is that?" Dad was stammering. "I can explain, officer. There's a scanned contract. Coach Stevens gets 10% of all future wrestling earnings, including sponsorships." Mom's voice broke. "You paid him to drug our son?" "Dad, it's not like that. Olympic wrestlers make millions. This was an investment in his future. He's 12 years old." They were yelling over my hospital bed. I just stared at my dad. "I told you something was wrong. You said it was puberty." He wouldn't look at me. The doctor's voice cut through. "His growth plates are fusing prematurely. He might not grow past 5 feet 7 inches. His hormone production could be permanently damaged. His heart is showing early damage." I looked at my dad. "I was never special. You just drugged me." Mom to the officer. "Arrest them both." The officer pulled out handcuffs. "You're both under arrest." Coach got 6 years. Dad got probation and supervised visits. My parents divorced. Mom got full custody.